Yeah. Although.
Is that what it is?
He's something different.
Yeah.
That's what we wish.
I got it. Where you going?
Let's say this is, we updated with numbers today.
Oh, you got numbers now?
They want to get the
2015 number.
How many more of those do you have?
I
Numbers.
have several. And
He ran out before he stopped.
531, Sergeant Green, give your report, please.
Okay. Looking at our stats this month, compared to 2014, we're up about 38, it looks like, from 1,117 to 1,155 total calls for service. Actual offense reports were also up by about 12 here, from 126 to 138. Total arrests were down 1, 48 to 47, down 2 accidents, which is a good thing, 39 to 37, and total citations this month was 75. This is up from last year in most categories, but it's actually still down from 2012 and 2013. Overtime, we used $20,980 last month. Year to date's $117,490. Last year, same month, we used $20,344, and the year to date total last year at this time was $130,713. Alarms, we had a total of 17, 3 of them residential, 9 commercial, and 5 of them fire. And he has this is a portion where he wanted me to give you a demonstration of the items that we purchased with the OBI fund.
Sergeant, before you do that, yesterday was the toy run. Yeah, from Toys R Us up to Salvation Army. Talk a little bit about how the department assists logistically in making that happen.
Yesterday was a toy run. I haven't seen the actual numbers, but I believe it was probably the biggest one we've had. I've been involved with every one of them since the beginning, and the way it's grown from the first one to this one is just phenomenal. I would say we probably had 1,000 bikes or more yesterday. What we do, obviously, a portion of the course or route that they take goes through Heath. It starts here in Heath. Starts at Toys R Us, goes up Park. It goes up 79 Park.
It's the toy run, the bikers where they take the toys up to
What's the official name?
Rolling
Thunder.
Yep, Rolling Thunder Toy Run. Yesterday we had our 2 road officers who were assisting with blocking off traffic and helping the riders get up through. I was there, and Officer Satterfield was also there. It went off without a hitch, for the most part. I mean, there's always some minor logistical things that happen. We assisted by going up into Newark at their request, and also helping to block off some intersections. And it's a phenomenal event. Yesterday, I think, was the first time I've ever seen car haulers, a couple of car haulers full of bikes and other items that were taken down and donated to Salvation Army. It was just phenomenal. The event doesn't require much, if any, overtime on our part. Like I said, the 2 officers who were on duty were just there, and they assisted to the best of their ability, which they've been able to do, luckily, every year. This year we had Officer Satterfield. He was on overtime. I was there, but since I've been involved since the beginning, I just donate my time because it's a good cause. You were there. You saw how many people were there. Have you been to the past ones?
Yeah.
So you saw the difference in the volume.
There were an awful lot of motorcycles there.
Yes.
It was great to see.
It's a great event. It's nice to see people waving at you with all their fingers, stuff like that. So
I say there's more than 1,000 because
I'm just making an estimate, but yeah, I would not be surprised if there was over
if you
1,000.
square it off and take the number is one square, I'd say more like 12 to 1,500.
They had,
Would not surprise me at all.
they had, so if you can picture kind of the front of the area, you know, Stacy's buffet is just to the north. So where their parking lot abuts the parking lot for Toys R Us, they had a string of caution tape that ran all the way down the length of that, of where they meet. Next to that caution tape, the Salvation Army had their kettle, the big kettle thing that they brought out here for the Christmas open house here and things like that. They also had, I can't even think, it made at least a half a dozen or so pickup trucks, many of them with trailers or something behind them. And the idea is that you would bring a new toy or something like that, and you put them in the back of these pickup trucks. And like Sergeant Ream said, a number of these trucks, the trailers behind them, they were full of bicycles that people had bought for the kids. And our volunteers in our fire department were in one of our trucks. Newark had a truck there. I saw Granville PD. I saw Newark PD. I saw, is that like the Ohio State?
The highway patrol.
The motorcycle guys.
Oh no, that was Reynoldsburg.
Oh, is that who that was? Oh,
That was Reynoldsburg.
All right.
And then we had the SO also.
Okay. All right. And then, so everything then south of that, all in front of Toys R Us, all going over toward Goodyear, it was all motorcycles.
Yeah.
It was all motorcycles. It was huge.
I would say we had a good 3-mile line of motorcycles once a year.
I can believe it. I mean, it took. Well, you were there.
11 minutes.
I was going to say it took about 10 minutes for him to get out.
Just for him to get out, and that was with him going out 2 entrances. My wife normally comes and rides. She loves going to the event too. We didn't bring candy to throw out this year, but she just enjoys the event also. And last year, I think it took them 6 minutes to come out. This year, it was 11.
Gee.
And that's 2 exits?
That was. It started out with the northmost exit for Toys R Us, and then I think it was taking too long, so I looked down. They started letting them come out the south side too, and it still took 11 minutes for them all to come out.
Wow.
That's what
It was
Christmas is
phenomenal.
about.
Absolutely.
Well, the weatherman was very cooperative.
Yeah.
Oh,
That helped
yeah,
too, I
That
think.
helped big time.
It's
What's
been
that?
cold the last
The
time.
weatherman
was very
Oh,
cooperative.
It is so. It tickles me every year to see some of these bikes and some of the people, that are riding them, and then they've got a teddy bear strapped in the back. I mean, it really is. It's such a tremendous event. I know some of us in this room have worked the other end of the Salvation Army's effort, and obviously without the event yesterday, a lot of what we do just wouldn't work. So I think it's a great event. I'm glad that the department is able to assist, and that there are others in the area that also, provide assistance, because that Christmas cheer program helps to provide assistance for too many families in our area.
And if you want something that'll really touch your heart, offer a little time to go down there and work.
Yeah.
To give the stuff out. And
Yeah.
you just cannot imagine the looks on the kids and the moms and dads.
Yeah.
There's going to be a lot of good Christmases this year.
Oh.
Yeah.
I mean, just to kind of give you an idea, the very first year we did it, I think it was 12 years ago, give or take a little. when we came around, we stopped on South Park Place there, the square, the south road there. We took up probably between a quarter and a half of that with all the bikes in there. Last year, or the year before, they planned to try to do the same thing where they took a picture off the administration building to take a picture of all the bikes. We couldn't even get all the bikes onto the side. I mean, they were pretty much wrapped around the square. This year was that much more. I don't know where they would have gone, but that kind of gives you an idea of the scale and how much it's gone up over the years. It's gotten bigger every year, which is good. Also, kudos to Patrolman Peterson on the Newark selling wall, which I don't get on it, but someone posted on there, sent it to me, the Newark selling wall on Facebook.
Oh, okay.
Someone posted a picture of Officer Peterson, said she did not know who the officer was, but she wanted to thank him for giving apparently some of the people riding through him candy. He took time and walked over, gave it to her kids, and she was very appreciative of that. It's not that that's what we're there for, but public relations, I think it made the department and the city look good in general. So kudos to him for that. So, yes, sir. I'll kind of show you where the money went here for the OVI stuff. Try to do this there's a lot of stuff in here. So the first thing is the portable breath testers. The department's had one portable breath tester for a long time, and it was good at the time. And I apologize, I'm sweating this morning or this evening. It was top of the line for the time we got it, but it is outdated. I mean, it still works. We can still use it. It's backup for us. This is the new one. It's called the FST. It's by the same company. The kits that we got contain the FST, multiple testing tubes. These are what they call sniffer cups. You can use those. You can actually test if someone has a beverage and they're saying, no, there's no alcohol in it. You can test, hold it above the beverage, and just the alcohol evaporating off of it will show a positive reading. So it's got a bunch of different features it can use. They keep it idiot-proof for cops. So basically, you just push this button, and it'll show you. You can't really see it. It is what it is. Well, basically, when it comes on, it shows you a temperature, and it has to be between a certain temperature. I don't even want you to say it. And then basically, you just blow the sample in. It works on the exact same concept as our big machine intoxilizers that we have. It is not one that we can use in court. We cannot use these results in court. It is evidentiary only. But when you're looking at an OVI arrest, you're building up your case and its totality of the circumstances. And these are good for that.
You use that test, and then they come and take the result.
Yeah, they still have to take either urine, blood, or one on one of our state certified ones.
Yeah.
This is a NHTSA certified instrument. In some states, it is considered evidentiary. Here in Ohio, it's not. No portable breath tester has been considered evidentiary, but it is good
So
for
can
us.
they refuse to use that?
Yeah, they can refuse anything.
So
They have
can
to remember right
refuse,
no
and
matter
then
what.
that's automatic. It's like
If they
refusing, like to come
refuse
here.
this one,
No, this is not the same as that.
Okay.
This one is one. Normally, where this would be used is as you're in the process. There's different steps you take when you're doing an OVI arrest. Once you get them out, you do the test. If you're on the wall or if you're on the fence a little bit, or if you just want to have more evidence, you can request that they take this. And these are considered pretty accurate. It's just by the state of Ohio, they don't have to have the same calibration standards, so it's not.
you couldn't actually take the results from that and present it in the case.
You could, but that in and of itself, unlike with the intoxilizer,
Okay.
is not considered enough to.
It's just another plus.
Correct. It's like when you do your standardized field sobriety test. This just adds on to that.
Okay.
But it is a phenomenal tool to have.
So if somebody were to refuse to take that test, is that, do you then automatically then have them come down here? Is that enough
It
suspicion
depends.
then that you think, well then let's go down? And
I wish that was just enough, but no. You still have to go through everything else, ideally. Now, when you're looking at OVI arrest, once again, it's totality of circumstances. So you're looking at what you observe, what you smell, what you see, how they're acting. You look at how they do on the field sobriety test, and they may refuse to take the field sobriety test. If they do that, they're probably going to refuse to take this too. So it's just the totality of the circumstances, but this is a good tool to have for a bunch of different things. If anyone wants a demonstration, if you've been drinking, I wouldn't recommend, but if you want a demonstration, I'll be happy to give you one.
Can I ask you a question?
Yes, sir.
Can I ask you a question?
Absolutely, sir.
Could you repeat the alphabet backwards, please?
I can't do that sober, which I am.
But that's what I'm saying. That's some of the questions that I've seen. That
Those are
for
not-
a field sobriety test. They asked this guy. I saw a film
Right.
of it.
Yeah.
Say the alphabet. backwards.
The way that we are taught, or the way that, because I do the SFST instruction, I do it for the academy at COTC, and I do it for our department.
Yeah.
We have 3 tests that we use: the eye test, the HGN, we do the walk and turn, and we do the one-legged stand. Now, I did have a lady Friday or Saturday who we got complaints on, who was very buggered up, to say the least. She, I think, is high on opiates. She had no odor of an alcoholic beverage, but there's other tests you can do for that too. One of them is called the lack of convergence, which basically, it's kind of weird. You do a couple circles around their face and then you bring the pen in so that their eyes have to cross, and it's a good test for like marijuana. If they have marijuana in their system, especially a high amount, you'll see their eyes, they can't bring them in and stay. One eye might pop out or both eyes will pop out. They cannot cross their eyes. And she had 2 of the classic signs of opiate addiction, or of opiate use, which is pinpoint pupils, and she was nodding off horrible as she's driving. And then she had that lack of convergence and admitted to smoking marijuana. But all that is just, it's the same way for alcohol. All that is just what you're looking for when you're looking at everything. This is just something that helps us add to any observations that we have. Does that make sense? I don't know whether I answered your question. I think I got off on a tangent.
When my
there.
daughter, when my younger daughter Emily, graduated from kindergarten at the Montessori school there on Country Club, they had to do a talent. That's part of the grad. They had to do some sort of a talent. And hers was, she had learned to sing the alphabet backwards. She had learned to sing her ZYXs.
Oh wow!
And yeah, she can still do it today. She can just sing it just like you'd sing ABCs.
Wow!
Emily, why are you always driving?
That's good talent.
So they won't let you sing.
Good one.
Yeah, they say you're not supposed to,
Yeah.
but there's only 3 tests that are
Would you
backed by
take it if I
scientific
told you I
evidence, and
could-
those are the 3 I said.
If I told you I couldn't say them, but I could sing them to you, would you take that?
I wouldn't do that test, but yeah, I don't care how you do it if you want to do it.
All right.
If you mess it up, that just goes into my report that, yeah, he said he could do it, but he couldn't. This is what it is, so.
I have a question, not about this specifically, but about OVI, because something I heard on the news this morning about someone with a little bit more notoriety than the typical OVI that some other people may
Mr.
correct.
Barrett?
But anyway, they said that he was over the legal limit for an underage drinker of .02. Why is it anything? I mean, why can he have any?
For OVI, it's illegal if you have any alcohol in your system as a juvenile. And you're looking at a misdemeanor in the 1st degree, it's underage consumption.
Okay. But
For
the
OVI,
okay, that's
the normal level is .08, but if you're under 21 years of age, it's .02.
okay. Gotcha.
Yeah. So you're looking at possible criminal charges too, just from the
Yeah.
fact that you consumed alcohol. And, being an OSU fan, I don't like the fact that he got arrested, but I thought it was kind of funny that they were saying, oh, he was just barely over the legal limit when it was .99. I mean, he was just under what the old legal limit was, and he was well over what it was for someone under 21. So, and alcohol does actually start affecting you well under .1 too. So,
How about what's your take on the marijuana law? Do you think we'll see an increase in?
I think we will see an increase in accidents related to that. Actually, that's what these are. Along with the fatal vision, which is alcohol impairment, these are green goggles. And my wife looked through them the other day and asked why they're actually green. I don't know. They're marijuana goggles. They're supposed to simulate marijuana intoxication, but I mean, it's going to be legalized at some point because a lot of the politicians at the state level want to make sure they get their hands in the taxes for selling that, is my opinion. But I think we're going to see an increase in accidents and a bunch of other stuff. What I'll let you do is kind of look through these. These are shaded. They have a green tinge to them. They look kind of weird. Basically, when you're talking about trying to simulate.
I didn't inhale.
Yeah, I didn't inhale.
Yes.
That's a brownies.
When you're talking about trying to simulate, whether it be marijuana or alcohol impairment, obviously, in most cases, you can't have the
I
people
am
drink.
pretty.
So what this does is there's a kit that comes with this, and they have you do the test, like you walk a line, there's other things that you do. For those, there's divided attention skills that they have you do where you're doing one thing and you have to pay attention to something else. And what it tries to alter your perceptions a little bit to kind of simulate how it would be if you were actually under the influence and had the mental
It's looking different.
stuff also.
That's like going to a 3D movie, you know.
Now, with the fetal vision goggles that we have a whole kit that goes from basically no alcohol impairment, which are basically clear goggles. I believe the blue ones are, I don't have my little cheat sheet that says which one is which. The blue ones are up pretty high. So if you look through these, my wife was laughing at me yesterday because she said my eyes looked really big when I was looking out of those, but these are one of the higher levels of impairment.
I would think so. My goodness.
And once again, you can't,
Now, how
you're not
drunk
just
are
talking
you?
about perception,
How
but you're
drunk
talking
are you
about.
on that?
I'm surprised I'm standing.
What's that?
How
Looks
drunk
like
are you?
Sydney
That's
Flat.
it, you're not
I
standing.
think that's between 2 and 2.5, and then the black goggles are if you're over 2.5, or
Wow.
0.25.
Oh, my.
Yeah.
There's a whole lot of you in there.
Yes, there is.
Oh, my.
And basically what you would have them do, there's a whole program that we've got that came with it. We've got a map that came with it also. And you take them in and you basically have them do some of the stuff that you might have them do for a test or just some divided
I've
attention
been there,
skills.
done this.
But they are.
Let me see one that's dialed back a little bit, not quite so.
You got no question about the test because you got experience with it, don't you?
They're color coded.
Well, let's just put it this way.
0.17.
Years ago.
There's
without
no way
waiting
this.
for-
Okay, that's, I've heard enough, Doug. They're not further
This one's like
incriminating yourself.
0.07 to 0.10,
Right
right where you be at the edge of the
There's warning things still on there.
Oh, yeah, sorry. I haven't even, they're so new, I haven't even taken all the warning stuff off.
We did a lot of legislation over the Blue Moon, didn't we?
I know they
What's
Done
these
a lot of
here?
deals back in
Is
the
this different one
since
here?
they did.
Yeah, this one is a lower level of intoxication.
Wow.
Write your name.
I'm trying.
Yeah, and this kind of what you were asking before, this kind of shows you some of the effects that you have based on what level of intoxication. I mean, it starts affecting you at about a 0.04 pretty significantly.
Oh, yeah. that's-
Oh, my.
And that is a lower level of intoxication.
What's this considered?
0.07 to 0.01, I believe.
Whoa.
So that would be right in the,
Right in the.
right where you're kind of at the cusp of the thing, and then this is basically no intoxication under. Don't have big fingernails. That would be basically almost no.
Now, you putting on a demonstration of this, would you have people walk around a little bit? I mean,
Yeah, you would have someone there to make sure that they didn't trip and fall or anything like that. That's considered a lower level of intoxication than what the other ones were. Now we've already got, the high school is already, or I've already talked to Dr. Thomas over at the schools, and I'm going to be going in to give a presentation with these and with the marijuana goggles to the health class, probably in the middle school, just so they can kind of see it and have someone in there talking about alcohol and impairment and stuff like that. So these are things that we can take out to demonstrate to people.
This is no limit? I mean, this is.
I think that was 6.
It's pretty much the same.
Yeah, under the .06.
Pretty much the same.
A few years ago, I was going
Let me
up
not
to
follow
church,
you down the road.
At the .06.
and this guy, I noticed he was in the right lane coming down to Garfield.
Mhm.
And when I went through the light there, I saw him coming through, and I was trying to speed up, but he still hit me a little bit. So we pulled off the road, and he almost fell out of the street, and I grabbed him, and I put him in the back seat. And I can't remember the officer that came up, you know, because he was sworn down. He says, "I'm going to get you to jail." He said, "You hit me." But anyway, the officer come up, and he got in the car, my car, you know, and he said, "Henry, are you drinking?" I said, "No." He said, "Come out." So when I got out, he got out, and I said, "No, I had him in the car because he almost fell out in the traffic." And then when he got him out, he was going to have him walk the line, but he didn't even walk to the line till he fell on his
Yeah.
face.
Yeah, those are the easy ones to catch.
Yeah.
It's the ones that are a little bit closer to the legal limit you got to watch out.
I don't even remember the officer it was or the guy's name. But
Well, wasn't me. I don't remember that. So.
Oh, it's been a few. Oh, he's retired now. I know who it was now.
Davis or Calder or
It's Davis.
Davis?
Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah, these, like I said, there's an activity kit. There's a bunch of other stuff that goes along with this, and it's all something that just goes to demonstrate how.
Yeah, I was going to say, so the
Essential
high
care.
school kids, what will you be doing with them to show them how difficult it is to function when you're inebriated like that?
With the marijuana goggles, a lot of what they have as the tests, and I didn't bring the whole package over, but a lot of what they have with the tests are like divided attention skills. They want you to concentrate on one thing while you're trying to watch something else, and it shows how difficult that is. Once again, you can't get someone high to show them that. This kind of alters their perceptions to kind of emulate it as best as you can. Same way with the alcohol. So it'd just be doing tests or trying to do the divided attention skills. It just depends on whether you're using marijuana or alcohol goggles. The alcohol goggles are more for like walking a straight line and stuff like that, and then the other ones are more the divided attention. But this program has been used for years, and pretty much every other police department that's used it that I talked to has nothing but praise for it.
Good.
And I'm looking forward to getting into the schools and hopefully passing on some information to them.
Good.
If anyone would like to see the entire kit that we have, please. I didn't bring everything over, but everything else is over at the police department. I'm still kind of going through everything to get it set up and learn everything myself, but I think it'll be an excellent program. And these marijuana goggles have just come out, and specifically for what Chief Huggins was asking about, the legalization. It's become more and more of a problem out in Colorado and stuff like that with impaired drivers. So they recently came out with these, and they seem to be working real well.
Yeah, concussion ones.
Yes.
That's interesting.
Now, I didn't look into those too much, but yeah, they do have concussion ones, and I was told those things would give you a headache looking through, but then again, so will these if you look through them for very long. Any questions on these? Quick demonstration. Like I said, I didn't bring everything over because I'm still kind of sorting through it and getting it ready. It will be used for public displays. Like I said, I've already got the schools kind of on board with letting us come in and use them as a demonstration tool. And that's what we'll have it for.
You guys have any questions for Sergeant Reed?
Thank you.
Thanks, Norm.
Appreciate it.
And last, there are no legislative requests.
Nothing else to report. Can I
Adjourn it.
I have one just comment here. Hardly a day goes by that you don't see in the national news the growing escalation of disrespect for police officers in this country. It's quite concerning on a local level as much as it is on a national level.
Yes.
Spontaneously, how is the Heath Police Department feel about the level of disrespect and respect? How are you dealing with it? What kind of escalation of challenging from people are we seeing? And what can we do to fix it?
I don't know that here in Heath we are seeing anywhere near the level that you see on the national scale. For the most part, we enjoy a lot of support. We try to get out there for like the toy runs and different events so that we can be out there and the public can see us in ways other than negative. In general, it seems like there's been an upswing in the amount of disrespect or just I'm trying to think of the right way to put it, maybe aversion to authority figures in general. You'll see it in the schools, you'll see it in dealing with a lot of the younger generation, and I sound old saying that, but
the millennials seem to really spark the.
Well, they've seen something on TV, and by God, you're not going to tell them they can't do that.
They're going to challenge you. Don't care
Right.
who you are, what authority you have.
I think President Obama did a good job the other day. He was talking to a group of people during the day, and I had nothing else to do but watch, you know. But I really appreciate what he said. He says too many of us draw our total last conclusion on one incident, you know, that you see here. And he says, folks, he says, not all people are the same, you know. And I think that's something that we need to teach our kids and push, you know, that we don't base it on one incident. You know.
Correct.
Well, it starts with parenting, or lack of parenting in a lot of cases you see around the country. Just concerned, just curious.
It is
out of
concern.
concern for our 18 uniformed police officers out in the city, and what kind of abuse are you taking?
No more than
on a small scale.
Right. There's not really a huge upswing as far as the amount of, like I said, what you see on the national scale, we're not seeing here. That's not to say that it couldn't show up here, but we're not seeing it here yet. And I think in general, we do a good job of being able to get out there to the public and just not presenting ourselves as kind of adversarial. So hopefully we won't be seeing that. Now we do get reports all the time from different agencies within the state of, I think the big one was about a year ago, a gang in Cleveland called the Heartless Felons had put out hits on police officers, although it was primarily in the Cleveland area. We do see those every once in a while. For the most part, they seem to be in the bigger cities. But here, we've been lucky. I mean, we have those people that always claim we're doing this because of their skin color or their ethnicity or whatever.
Some sort of profile.
Yes. That has been going on since I got here 23 years ago. And I don't foresee that ever stopping. We might see an upswing in that, although I'm not aware of any major upswing right now. But it is something that's concerning, and we kind of keep our eyes open for any signs that it might start happening more prevalently here in the local area.
Sovereign citizens.
And I know that
Luckily, we don't have as many of those around as we used to.
I know it's arguably cost prohibitive at this point, but how many times has one of our officers wished they had body cam on in case?
I think that in general, the cameras that we have in our cars have, and I'd be lying if I said some of our officers didn't want the cameras in there. My complaint or my argument against that would be, if you're not doing anything wrong, you don't have anything to worry about. The only thing those cameras are going to do is help you. And I truly believe that our officers don't go out there. I mean, not to say officers don't make mistakes, but we go out there and we try to do the right thing. And I think the same way with body cameras, it would show who the real problem is in general.
Well, further evidence.
Yes.
If
Well,
this
yeah,
officer's
evidentiary
doing the
also.
right thing, okay, as opposed to what somebody with a phone off to the side is.
Well, no matter where you
You
go
know what I
now,
mean?
no matter, you could think you're alone on the street at 3 o'clock in the morning. Someone's going to have a video if you're doing something that you shouldn't be doing, or they think you're doing something that you shouldn't be doing. That's all well and good, but I think based on just the national tone right now, at some point you're going to see where it's going to be mandatory for officers to have body cameras.
I think the time's come. It's just got.
And I'm 100% for the body cameras. I think
I
they're great
too. Like I said, I preface the word cost prohibitive, which right now,
Right.
for our community, I think
To get a decent one, I've seen them running anywhere from about $300 up for a decent system. So yeah, they're not cheap, but I think they're
say
good
this
for those companies.
to protect our employees, our police officers, to confirm that they're doing the right thing. That's
And
the main trust.
Chief Mason obviously would have a little more information on that for as far as any internal affairs investigations that might have been cleared. But I know of a couple of incidences based on my understanding that were cleared because they went back and reviewed the tapes and they found out that what these people were accusing, that wasn't the way it happened. And there was a lot of other stuff that they left
no
out.
basis.
Correct. Several cases that I'm aware of were found unfounded. And it was primarily based on that.
You guys have got that job to do. And anything we can do to support you in something like
And that's greatly appreciated.
that's
Saturday morning, I had to go to Columbus, had to be over there first shot this time. We was coming back, and right here on the bridge, my wife, I was watching, there's a lot of traffic, and I was trying to turn left, you know. And she says, my goodness, I said, what's going on? She said, the policeman had to help this woman get out of the car. He said, she looks like she's either will pass out or she's
Was
stoned.
that about 2 or 3 o'clock in the afternoon? That was the young lady I was just telling you about. We had a call. We had 2 different citizens call in complaining about her starting from the Speedway down to Hebron, being all over the road. Detective Phillips was able to get there before a marked car and got behind her. And he normally the unmarked cars don't make traffic stops, but he thought he had to because she was all over the road. And then that's when we did the tests. And
I wondered about that.
yeah, we're waiting for the results. I would say probably marijuana and opiates at the very least are going to be in her system. But yeah, that's the young lady I was just telling you about.
Hey Doug, I want to notate for the committee too, Armor Source, which is the company down here on 79. I think they're actually in Union Township. I don't think they're in the village where they're located. But anyway, Chief Mason and I went and visited Armor Source a couple weeks ago or so, something like that. And kind of stems from there was a county training that took place at the mall. It's a tabletop exercise. Basically what they simulated was an active shooter / terrorist attack, basically, at the mall. And so kind of you go through these exercises, you kind of talk about what the responses would be. You simulate different things happening, throw some curveballs into the scenario and that kind of thing. In the exercise early on, obviously something like that were to happen at the Union Mountain Mall, 99 times out of 100 it would be our police officers that would be the first ones on the scene. And so as they're trained to do in an active shooter situation, the officers would be seeking out to neutralize the threat. But in the process of doing that in this simulation, our officers got hit. Now, that kind of got me thinking, they wear body armor,
Yeah.
but they don't have anything on their heads other than, sometimes a hat. And Yoav Kappa, who heads up the Armor Source, had mentioned to me before about how, hey, if you guys ever need anything or whatever, let me know, or whatever. And in that tabletop exercise, kind of hearing that, it just kind of made me think, let's see if Yoav will do something for us. So Chief Mason and I went down, we met with him. Started to describe to him the exercise and, the fact that our guys have body armor and that's it. And Yoav said, could you look at Chief Mason, could you guys use some helmets? And Chief Mason was like, well, yeah. He said, okay, how many do you need? And So we came back, he and I came back with sample sizes, and I think all the officers have tried them on now at this point, right?
So yes.
Okay. So that we can get which size, you know, for each officer, and each of our officers is going to have the ACH military style ballistic protective helmet that our military uses. They'll be painted black, and each one of our officers will have their own that they can have with them when they're on patrol, just in case, God forbid, they ever need them. So I just want to notate that in the committee's report, and thank Armor Source for that. And we'll
That's a good outfit.
Armor Source? Oh yeah.
I worked with them for a while.
Oh, is that
I was
right?
buying into it, and then Mike Bennett and I, and then he decided he wanted to go alone. So we were already moved out there.
Really?
Yeah. And Mike, it's kind of, we lost our contract here when the Air Force Base closed.
Uh-huh.
So he moved here. But we tried to get that to hold it on. That's good.
Ballistic protection, does that give you?
Based on my understanding, anything short of a direct hit with a pistol, it's gonna probably help with. Now, you know, depends on the caliber. There's pretty high calibers out there now. Rifles, same thing. If it's enough of a glancing shot, you know, unfortunately, even our vests don't work against rifles. But depending on what kind of rifle it is, it can provide protection too. You know, something like a .22 or a lower caliber, it's probably going to provide a fair amount of protection. Some of the higher calibers, it kind of depends. Angles and all kinds of stuff.
One of their first ones that came out, Todd's outfit guy, he was a special ops, you know, the guy that killed that one. And one of the kids, as he thought about it, that he takes responsibility for him kill. If he'd have had one of those, a sniper would have killed him. Later on, they had a sniper hit one of them, and he did kill the guy. Because they're not that good a shot over there in Iraq. They just,
Spray and pray.
yeah.
Kind of unrelated to the helmets, but we did a training last night over at the mall, active shooter, and I spoke with Raquel then, and she actually has a system now where they can alert, kind of like our city system where you can send out alerts to people. I'll get the email to you also and let you know, because they can actually put your phone or a city phone or a computer onto the system, and as soon as they send it out, it would come to you too. I mean,
Yeah.
I'm gonna talk to Chief Mason about getting it for us. But that's a whole nother, that was something else that came out as far as how the mall would notify its people. And they've already implemented that as far as the notification system. So,
What was that guy's name in our
He's Israeli.
Huh? I know. What's his name?
Yoav.
Noah.
Yoav is his first name. Kappa with a K. Kappa is his last name.
Okay.
and also we've still got those helmets over there if anyone wants to come over and take a look at them.
Oh, you do?
Yeah, they're still sitting there. You want me to go grab them?
When you're done, yeah. Are we done? Yeah. Yeah, bring them over and look at them after Chief Cousins is done. I'll be right back. Thanks. I thought maybe they had already gone back.
No, they should still be back.
Okay.
Working, but have you ever looked at it?
You had to do that, didn't you?
I did, yes.
So just how
You
you
go see
feel?
that Armor Source guy. That's what I did. Guy at Armor Source.
Better. I have one more chemo then.
Energy coming back and all.
Not yet. That's what I'm having to deal with today. I've had to sleep all day.
Me too, and I'm not taking chemo.
Yeah, I have one more the 14th.
You were at work, right?
14th of November, and that's it. And then, they tell her area, they haven't set up a schedule. I have to go back, and I had to commit myself, for at least another 5 to 10 years over at Now Karma leaves so they can keep track of it.
I've brought all three sizes in.
Okay.
Nice suspension.
What's that?
That's a nice padding and suspension.
Yes.
So this is the extra large, so this would probably be the heaviest. The guts of it, this is Velcro. So you can take the guts out of it and replace it without having to actually do anything with the helmet. Feel how light. This is the extra large, Jeff. So this is the heaviest that they have of that stock. Now they make ones that are even lighter than that. This is what they're selling to. This is what they're selling to allied
I already saw one, yeah.
allied countries and the State Department's foreign military sales. This is the type of helmet that they use.
It's still lighter than those old.
There's the XL
Steel.
color. You can get that one.
When I was in the
Put them on a
Army,
wobble on
they, in basic training, we still had the steel pots, and those were heavy, and then we had the old Kevlar. And, you know, a couple officers put them on, and they're like, oh my God, these are heavy. It's like, you don't know heavy. You should have wear one of the old Kevlar
You end up
helmets.
with a bad neck.
Yeah. Well, and the old Kevlar helmets also didn't have all this extra padding in here. It was just like a net type thing. So these are very nice, and they're mil spec, so they do provide ballistic protection.
They make various types of helmets. Some they make some for SWAT teams and also for special ops, where the earpieces are cut out so that they can have their communication equipment work. The front, you see the hole that's in the front. You can have the thing put on where you can have then night vision goggles or
Face
whatever.
shields and anything, any accessory.
If you can find one of those are a lot better than the motorcycle helmet you bought.
Oh yeah, these are
little
phenomenal.
laser lights come out of it, and the guy thinks you got his book.
I did have one of the officers when I went over there to grab these ask if we could have them with flames painted on the side. For my
Remake Look at Heroes down here. I hear nothing.
Well, we adjourned at 6:00. We'll start your meeting at 6:18.
You can't keep that on, man. Look at that.
Honey,
Hey, Schultz.
Gosh, can you want to run the council meeting with that on? That'd be good.
Okay,
6:18 we'll start you.
Thank you. October statistics. Fire runs are down 24 over this time last year. EMS calls are up 55 over this time last year. And our total transports are up 71 over this time last year. So, good. Statistically, we gave 25 mutual aids, the majority to the city of Newark, and we received 28.
what was the hazmat one?
The hazmat one was, hazmat 2 responded out of station, one with Hoffman, and a couple that had they thought was a meth lab down County Line Road, Great Shot area. In their evac, of course, we had ended up being a fatal accident in front of Meritor.
So if I'm reading this right, then Chief, I'm sorry. If I'm reading this right, then the only EMS mutual aid that we gave was to Newark.
That's correct. 14.
Okay.
14 to Newark, and yeah, the rest for fire calls. And depends on how you some of the, it depends on whether you classify a motor vehicle accident as an EMS call or a fire call. One in question, our rescue responded out to Licking Township on a motor vehicle accident, and I listed that as an EMS call versus a fire call, even though
We would have got the potential squad went to that. If we were in Newark, correct?
Yes.
Correct, yeah.
And we said we would get about 55–60% of our runs are billable. That's usually the trend.
No idea.
Judging by this number, yeah.
Yeah.
You're the
Yeah.
math man.
I'll remind you of that, Mark. Yeah.
Mark, let me
We
remind
run
you.
about 55–56% of our runs. 58% are end up being billable.
Receive, you got one for National Trail, what was that?
That's correct. That was we were calling for additional units. We had a pretty good cruncher at Franklin Avenue and Hopewell.
Oh, yeah.
And National Trails was headed home from the hospital and called me on the radio and said, we're down here at 79 and Hopewell, would you like us to? So I said, come on up. So they ended up transporting the station for us. Worked out okay.
What was that, Grant? What you said?
Just happened. The one there at Franklin, we had two there recently, but yeah, one was, probably totaled 2 vehicles. Very fortunate, most of the time. Yeah, the one in front of Meritor was a fatal, we flew. Mr. Boland and, a lot of people knew him, yes. Knew his brother. So, let's see here. So, legislative requests. I have 2 tonight. First one being requesting that our check from the state of Ohio, the EMS grant for $4,250 be deposited. It's already been deposited in the general fund, and I'd like to have that transferred over into the EMS account.
Oh, I guess.
Yep.
Okay, the second one isn't. It's a request for $15,000 transferred from the general fund to the fire building repair fund to finish out the year. I estimated a little high, but I just as soon asked for a little bit too much, and it's gonna go back anyway. But I'm already 1,500 in the hole. I have, I've got at least $7,700 currently in items that have to be done. Some of it's I've got a transfer switch, I've got hot water tanks, thank you please. Tankless hot water tank at Station 1, replacing. We talked about that in past tense, and just things to finish up the rest of the year. I hate to ask for it.
You want my name on it? Huh? Okay.
I'll just have Norm sign it.
I'll sign everything. Won't get anything, but I'll sign it.
So that is it as far as legislative requests. Thank you. Monthly expense report, you can see 2014 versus October 2015. We had 3 pays, the 2nd, the 16th, and I think the 30th, yeah. In October this year, so that's the reason for the high number. Usually about 65. Overtime, high, but we're still below what we were last year. To the tune of about a little over 29,000.
You got the vacations and all the time pretty much wrapped up for the year now?
Oh no, it's still going strong. We've got some schools. You know, the trouble, it's not a trouble, but as you get an older department, more and more vacation is accrued and all. Some of these guys are getting 10 days. They've got comp time that's built up, 3 personal days, and also, yeah, a lot of time off. some of them saved and carried it over into the next year and such. But anyway, class-wise, we'll talk about this in a minute, but, you know, if we have training specific like the pediatric advanced life support that's coming up this month, that's overtime involved. I mean, that's something that's required to keep your paramedic cards. So anyway, moving along, equipment, engine 2 was repaired, about $4,000 by the time we got the thing repaired. That started out a great job, and Jay's ended up fixing it when it was all said and done. Tower 10 was repaired recently. It went down on the 20th. That was a $1,400 repair. Engine 1 exhaust replaced. Now, Engine 1 is a 1991 finished fire truck. This was the first time the exhaust system, but it was shot, but that was over $3,000. We bought the components.
For 24 years out of that.
Yeah, that's pretty damn good, to be honest with you.
How much was it?
Let's buy all the 1991 vehicles we can. 2000.
Great year.
Those are not
Or,
Dodges.
yeah,
We're good.
complete exhaust system on Engine 1. Medic 1 still up at Johnstown in the shop. I have no idea what that's going to cost. Our self-contained breathing apparatus were flow tested. That's required by NFPA and such annually. That was to the
I'm almost ready to say they can keep that stupid thing. We'll just keep
What's that?
running our reserve. I mean, these medics are just falling apart.
You know, it's like buying a car, and sometimes you get good ones, sometimes you get, I won't say this has been a lemon, but it has had excessive amounts. You talk to the manufacturer, and of course they tell you, well, you got to replace them once in a while. You know, that's their answer to everything. Well, sure.
Horton?
Well, it's a Horton box. These are international chassis. And we bought the international chassis because they use the same components as school buses. They're readily available, and if we ever ran it, we needed a water pump, we could probably call Craig Hindman over and get a replacement water pump in a pinch and all that. I mean, that was part of the reason. The medium-duty chassis were heavier, safer, and all, but most of the problem we've had with these have been, of course, engine or the emission system. That, and you know, Brian talks about the diesel engine and it regenerating and all. So we're not sure why it lost power, it was blowing smoke, and so they're analyzing fuels and everything else right now. But who knows what that's going to cost? And then ladder testing was done today. Everything passed, but you're looking at probably a $2,000 bill for that. It's all said and done. We use the Strauss out here, and so we deal with them locally, and we always get good service. And they said they're going to be moving probably by December into their new building, so that's a good thing. And when we can, we try to deal local. Train, we had a short notice, but grain bin rescue class, and that was truly fascinating. Unfortunately, I wasn't able to take the class that day because we had public appearances. So Doug Brown and I went down to HER for their pumpkin festival. You were there for a while, which you could
So
be.
we got
but-
called out.
Yeah, you were running calls, and we, I went to that so some of our people could stay in class. And then I went over to Shea House that they had their,
Trunk or treat?
trunk or whatever, passed out some candy to the kids by myself that afternoon. So we covered all of our bases, but it was fascinating. This was all trailer based and self-contained, but practically filled the station to the top at 200 bushel of corn, and they had little grain bin deals that they could run the augers and pull the corn out, and we took our firefighters and actually it just sucked them down like they were a real scenario, and then our guys had to get in and utilize, and there's all kinds of different hand tools and some pneumatically driven that you can suck the corn out from around them or whatever. Anyway, it's how you would do it in a real situation. We have had, I think a July 4th weekend several years ago out in Harsh, what was it, Joe Harson's, out of 37 in Saturday. Parish, excuse me. You're correct, Joe Parish.
So the trainees actually, some of them were actually in the green, and those were getting them
We put live people down in. It gave them an experience of what it's like, and I mean,
They had to hope that the other trainees were quick learners.
once you get in, it's hard to believe, but you get
Really?
knee deep in corn,
Yeah.
You're in trouble.
you can't get yourself out,
Yeah.
and
Does it do
you get.
concrete suction?
I'm sorry.
Does it just kind of create a suction like mud
It
or
just
something?
fills, yeah.
We don't.
And you've got the same effect with sand and
Yeah.
some of that, but grains the same way. They crawl in on a grain. You know, you get damp moisture in there, and it forms a crust, and they walk in. I'm sorry.
Excuse me, but that young boy that lost his leg out there at right on 37. They said by the time that the guy saw that the kid was in trouble, he'd already went down and his head was already under. They called them. When they got there, they couldn't get him out. They
I
just,
was there. I'm part of that rescue team.
he was done before finally he even made a call. It was that quick. It was sucking.
And the augers. Anyway, it was just interesting to see how they could pump grain back and forth. It was fascinating and a great class for our people to take. It's not like we have a lot of green bins in the city. However, we're going mutual aid
Yeah.
and part of the rescue team and all. I mean, we could respond at any time to assist.
I just read an article this morning, my wife pointed out to me, they said a lot of times you have a child, I wanted to ask you before I forget it, it's about drowning. It said you think you get the kid out, maybe even spit water out, but later on he'll drown in water that's still in his body. Is this true? It was one of the big magazines that was thinking.
The biggest problem, and many drownings are dry drownings, and after they've been in the water for a period of time and everything relaxes and things, you know, the old wives' tale about drowning on a teaspoon of water, that's true. Your body naturally reacts, shut your windpipe off, and those people many times suffocate, and then after you're submerged for a period of time, your lungs fill full of fluid. Salt water is different than fresh water, but usually anything that is aspirated into your lungs after the fact, you can suction it and all, but the bacteria and the after effects of pneumonia.
It's not a normal thing,
things,
though.
Pretty much any time. I mean, stomach contents, water, unless it's swimming pool water, and you still have to be, concerned about it because it irritates the lining of the lungs. But stale pond water or seawater is much more likely
I told
to
my wife,
cause.
she was pushing me, and I said, that's probably the reason that most of your rescue people and fire departments suggest that you take an almost drowning victim to the hospital afterwards, And she said, well, that sounds reasonable, I just wondered.
You do the best you can with what you got, but in most cases, you're not dealing with a lot of water in the lungs. As they fight and struggle before they go submerged, they suck a lot of water in, and their stomachs are distended and all, but the lungs are, in most cases, dry initially. That makes sense. I don't know if that answered your question or not.
Yeah, that's good. I didn't interrupt, but I wanted to make sure that.
So, let's see, pediatric advanced life support, that's coming up on the 6th. It's coming Friday, and in December, early on, we have a paramedic refresher, which is like a 48-hour class, so that'll be given over several days. So, we talked about the tankless hot water tank at Station 1. That's a $3,100 but that's 6,000 to replace the two tanks, over 6,000, and, as I said, this is gonna be cost effective, and we're not heating that water constantly, and it should be a cost savings down the road.
So that tank cost us $3,100.
$3,100. It's a commercial grade, and it produces over 11 gallons a minute of hot water. So with the 3 people in their shower and laundry and things like that, normally at the station, it should be more than enough. The Lucas device, a donation, getting ready to order the second Lucas device. If you recall, we got $5,000 from the Energy Co-op to put towards that. The Garden Club, there was a desk, a check laying on my desk today. They had a drawing for American Girl doll. Thank you. Yeah.
What was it?
American Girl doll. That, they held a drawing during our
That's one where the
prevention
face looks
program.
realistic
Yeah.
and that.
You know, it looks just like me. It's got a mustache.
Man, I need the goggles again.
We received the check. I'm sorry. No, we have not ordered it yet, but we're gonna go ahead and do it with the money that we've got and get it onto the second EMS unit. But they raised over $500 with their raffle, and then there was one individual donation given too. So real tickled with that and their efforts. And we'll make sure that I'll write them a thank you, Mayor, and we'll both sign that if that's okay with you.
Sure.
Rescue tools, we're looking, the crew, the department wants to go a new direction with rescue tools. We've used Hearst for years. In some ways they haven't kept up with things. They actually researched and had multiple rescue tool companies come in. And this is one of those that, me being a short timer, I kind of let them go the direction that they saw fit. Genesis was the tools that they selected. We're talking about $28,000 worth of rescue tools to complement the new rescue truck. That wasn't ordered with those tools. About $28,000. So there will be some value in our older tools that Jay can probably sell online, and we'll probably keep some sort of a smaller tool or whatever on as an extra on the other engine over on the, station 2 for popping doors and things. So anyway, that's coming. Station 1, just giving you a heads up. This is something that it's been a problem. We addressed it several years ago. We looked at it again. The roof on Station 1 has got some rust issues. It wasn't due to poor quality materials. It was due to the people that put the metal roof on. When those panels were purchased, they came in on a special truck and they were like 93 feet long because they wanted one piece, less seams and things. But by dragging that stuff over after they installed, they took the finish off. So we several years ago went up and treated it. Of course, I called the company that basically no warranty type deal, but had a painter come in as we were working on the budget for next year, and they said not that big a deal. They gave us a price quote to paint the whole roof was going to be about $30,000. They gave us a price quote of about somewhere between $3,000 and $5,000 to go up and fix the areas. They said that the paint that they use is about $100 a gallon, but they would use the best stuff that money by, and they wouldn't, it's a cost-effective way to do it now. Down, sorry,
Approximately 5,000.
yeah, no more than 5,000, and that's something they're not gonna even start until after, next year, sometime June or later, because they want it to be hot, dry, and they can treat it right, prime it, come back a day or two later, and all that, so that will be addressed. But that's just something looking forward to in the future.
On the horizon.
On the horizon, but an expense, and I know I beefed up the, Warren and I, do we want to talk about Warren at all, or just?
Go ahead.
Warren will be my replacement coming up. When I walk out the door on January 15th, Warren will be taking the reins and be your next chief of the city of Heath. So he has been spending a lot of time with me, and we worked on the budget, several of us, but trying to bring him up to speed the best we can, and he'll be better prepared than I was. So
To their credit and to the chief's credit, there are a number of people in our fire department who would be qualified to replace Chief Huggins when he retires. But glad that we've got Captain McCord lined up for that, and that we've got a couple months plus to help make sure that he's as prepared as he can when the chief jumps off. So, thanks, Chief.
you're welcome. Last but not least, personnel, Spellman, your buddy. Yeah. Spellman has got
He's not weightlifting again.
not too awful much, bodybuilding, not weightlifting, not the heavy weights like he used to. He has give it a name, Timmy. He's got a navel that has umbilicus, whatever, that's popped out at all, and he has to go in and have that repaired, so
Named him
Timmy is
Timmy,
gonna
right?
have surgery.
Can't make this stuff up.
Surgery on Timmy.
Spellman, though, it's a surprise.
Remember said they call it an Audi.
An Audi?
An
Okay.
Audi, it's an Audi.
Well, it needs to be repaired according to the doctor, so, I believe November the 18th is his last day, and he will be off about 6 weeks, so he won't be back till about the 28th of December. So that's just another one of those. So that's all.
We're in the process right now of obviously when Chief Huggins retires and Captain McCord steps up into that role in the middle of January, that will create a vacancy for us. But we are in the process right now of trying to hire a new firefighter into the department. You may recall that we were in with the city of Newark, and I think it's West Licking, and are we the only three? Is Granville part of that?
Not right now, Madison Township, Franklin County,
That consortium?
yes.
Okay.
There.
So we will get names off that list of those that would be next in line, and we'll begin the process of interviewing them and making a decision of bringing a new person into the department as soon as possible, so that when Chief Huggins does step down, the goal is that the hole that is created will either then be immediately filled by the new person or will be shortly filled. That way we'll be reducing the amount of overtime that will be incurring in this process.
Right.
Let's see down there by Tim's hope, David, if you want
Yeah,
to.
in most cases, that takes
But you had to.
We can do it much quicker than a lot of places, but at best, it takes us about 3 months to fill a slot if we have it. And by being part of that consortium, we don't have to advertise in the newspaper, all the work's done.
Yeah.
It's just a matter of calling up the active list. Now they'll have to, candidates will retest, next time, but, and we have some of our own Heath people quite high on the list, so.
How did the Station 2's repairs to the back end from that accident, we get those wrapped up?
No. Nothing has been done about that, to be honest with you. And I guess bottom line, buck stops here, but, nothing. Identified City Hall and all, and I guess that's as far as it ever went.
So have we heard when that driver didn't have insurance?
I don't think that driver had any.
I don't believe so. I'd have to go look at the report, but I'm pretty sure he did.
I mean,
The car was
the back
totaled,
door
right?
is gonna have to be replaced and all.
I think the car was totaled, wasn't it?
Yeah, well, it even caught on fire, so yeah.
So the $50 scrap metal we're gonna get?
David, is there anything?
Blood out of a turnip mentality here?
Yeah, I mean, okay, so you've got
It's
an
not just for radio,
uninsured
that guy is a
driver
idiot.
who hit the backside of Station 2 up there at Blackfoot and Linville. Is there any garnishment of future wages or government benefits
I could
or
probably stop him there,
anything
Mayor.
that
He doesn't have any wages. he hasn't for years.
Put a lien on his life or anything?
I mean, is there any recourse that people or that whatever can be taken on an uninsured driver to try to recover costs at a future date?
Well, you get a judgment against him, and then if he ever has any money, we can collect it then. But, just sue him and get a judgment then.
Would our insurance company be the one to make that decision?
Well, a lot of times, the insurance company will pay it and pay the damages and then buy our claim, and then they'll decide whether to pursue them or not in a subrogation action.
What was the damage done to the building, Chief?
The corner of the building, some of the standing rib metal will probably have to be, it was some tearing, and then one of the hinges on the back door was damaged, and that entire steel door assembly will have to be replaced. It can be secured, but it needs to be replaced.
You got a few $1,000s.
I would say so, but in many cases, it ends up it's cheaper to pull it out of. There you go.
Oh boy! No, let it go! Let it go, Chief!
I'll try to.
Let it go!
Look, it's for you.
Somebody knows how to work one of those things? Yeah, okay.
Yeah, under the table.
You're bringing up helmets.
Say you have an idea.
To the bomb shelter, quick.
Well, I don't. We haven't had anybody
No cost is-
into.
And that guy,
But in most cases, it's one of those deals that, by the time the deductible and all, and then you turn in an insurance claim, more times than not, we paid right out of the fire department budget versus filing an insurance claim. So
Well,
they don't jack our rates up.
We need to get somebody out there to give us an estimate on the repair.
So, anyway, I just haven't given it much thought till you brought it up.
Kind of problem resolution is all I was asking about here.
Well, I'm glad you brought it up. That's the last thing on my mind.
I'll call you again and remind you, man.
Yeah, if you would, thanks.
Boy, I'll leave you a voicemail. That'll be a
That's
challenge.
all I have.
Yeah, make sure you call myself.
Anything else for Chief? With nothing else to report, we'll adjourn at 6:50.
Give you enough time, Jay. You said take it as long as I could. Jack, that's it.
You're not game. I'll be up there. Yeah, you're good at that.
Did we have agenda for finance? Yeah.
Do you want, she gets the legislative report.
Well, Jay, what do you got for agenda there, bud?
I've got,
You want to sit here?
it's,
My wife won't touch what I do, but I love how. Yeah, just let me know.
two, and then what, that one is the third one.
Two more here.
There you go. Sir.
You got one?
Oh, I'm sorry.
No, that's all right. He can get another one. Thank you.
Yeah.
I'm that, yeah. Have you got a bad leg?
Yeah, the second one's Eddie's.
We'll take a 5-minute break here.
Everyone's got it. 5-minute break.
Everybody stretch.
Stretch and get your phone calls out of the way.
Right helmets?
I'm wearing mine.
Yeah, well, we're not buying them. Those are being donated.
Oh,
Charged at the officers in the department. Harbor Source. Much better than the old ones.
yeah.
I'm gonna get mine for as a council president. I'll walk around here. I sent that picture of my kids and they sent back Lieutenant Dan. I said, ready for business, and Jessica sent back, looks like more like ready for battle. And then Paige sent back Lieutenant
You have
Dan.
to do your neck exercises to wear those things.
It'd be a good hard hat. I can wear this instead of a hard hat.
But yeah, that's probably bulletproof.
Yeah. Let them contractors try to say something. I get like, go ahead and shoot me in the head.
The
So wait, don't get too close.
Yeah.
You have.
What caliber? What caliber bullet?
the Armor Source facility has its own ballistics shooting range right there.
Yeah.
They're able to test the helmets, and where the weak points are typically are where the bolts are,
Yeah.
because that's a break in the.
So if someone shoots you at the bolt, it'll go through.
Well, they have to shoot those bolts and make sure that it won't go through.
Yeah.
They have to.
See, it does.
I think I'd be shaking my head.
Keep it moving so they can't get it.
That's right.
It's like a lot of these shooters that get, you'll notice they use a 40 caliber, a big one. Because, you take the 380, the 25, you can almost shoot you if you're in the parking lot, probably won't hurt you. The 25, I don't know. I don't want to take the chance.
I ain't going to test it.
I don't want to be shot.
Let's go out. Come on, let's go out in the parking lot and try that
I'm
out.
not going to volunteer.
My
I catch it in
grandpa-
my teeth. I've seen that when you shoot it.
My grandpa would
Yeah.
My grandpa, he would let you shoot at him with his 25.
We shoot each other with BB guns, and that was hard. That was thinking it up, man. Yeah. One stuck under your skin every so often.
This year, when you knock him down.
No, it's really
So
almost 8
somebody-
o'clock.
At a range, you're shooting at the swinging steel targets, with a 22, and of course it bounced back and hit him and left a welt, I'm sure of that, but it didn't break the skin.
Well, 22 is more dangerous than 380 or 22 or 20. Just about all of them.
Back, I'm
Great,
not.
great weapon.
You all right?
It's like I had to have.
The leg, knee there.
Shoot
No.
water.
Oh, I
Over your hip there or something.
Well, yeah, I got it in the back, and I don't really know it.
Well, they're 45.
Sciatic nerve or?
Yeah,
Brother, I asked
yeah,
him
it's
one time,
right across here.
what's the difference?
He says it's,
His jaws were.
I've got stenosis
30-some bullet holes through
of
the head.
L2 and L3.
He said,
L4
"This
and 5,
one
where they
here."
operated on me, has already fused itself back together, which he said was good. He told me, he says, whenever I decide to have this operated, I'm going to do it. He says, he's not going to tell me. He says, you need it, but I'm not going to tell you when to do it. He says, you'll tell me when.
So
When you can't stand any longer, you'll be called.
That's what I thought, yeah, that's what he said. You know, when you just figure you can't take it anymore.
Steroid injections or anything like that, none of that'll work?
And he shot him with a 45, and he said they couldn't even find him.
I've never had one of those injections.
He lived through it, you know.
Really? Have you had them?
Yeah. Yeah, it's just never
Work for some, don't work for others.
Yeah.
All right, start the meeting.
I'm covered with that.
Yeah,
Hold on, Harry, you'll be back.
We're starting here to prevent it anyway.
Okay.
And you just have to, like everything else,
Yeah.
fair market value is even an issue that. And there's something to be said for taking a sure thing rather than
Huh?
hoping for the best in an auction.
Yeah. Yeah.
I asked her
Well, I think
if
Jason will,
you guys are gonna replace them, which I'm sure you are, and if you're going to use me, I need some time.
Okay.
But I asked Debbie, he said Jenna's in charge of that, so I said Jenna, and she said she would talk to you about it. So that was a couple weeks ago. I just.
Let me circle the wagon. I know she did. I
I
just can't seem to recall. So let me circle the wagon.
You and
So-
Butch, I saw Butch Saturday getting pizza
That's
down
the
at
second one.
his Lions Club pizza. So I saw him
Oh, I-
there.
I understand.
That was just after he found out about
Whichever the one's on the agenda.
JT Barrett and everything said. He goes,
Right-hand
you hear
lane.
about it?
I didn't hear about it.
What happens?
We had to
That
talk
road
about
Came
that.
up with that just today. And
What are you talking about?
it's not going on.
79.
No,
Years
you're
ago.
gonna read them to be whatever.
That right-hand lane, you know, it's.
Yeah,
really
it was on
bad
the
shape.
Yeah, I know.
for the summer.
I don't know what
For the
happened.
summer quarter.
I see.
So
Yeah, it's just kind of.
Doing
Well,
some needs
Pat's
now.
What's that
down
with,
on
you
that
know?
one side, I always move over far
It's
enough
over
to get out
that
of
would
the.
be.
Yeah, I don't know what happened to
Read them,
the
sign them.
side of the road
Bring
there.
him down.
Crumbled.
I'm ready to go.
Well, whatever.
I don't know.
Or,
Of course, I cut all the trees down in that lot, but I don't even think some of the trees were hanging up.
Yeah, I know.
I noticed southbound traffic coming out of Newark, they stay in the extreme right-hand lane. Then the northbound stay in the extreme left-hand lane, don't they?
Yeah.
I've seen lines.
I know. I don't understand why people heading like in front of Southgate, heading southbound. The right-hand lane will be backed up. You can pass 3 dozen cars on the just getting the left-hand lane.
Keep that quiet.
What they call
Don't
it.
let the people stay over there. Don't.
Let's
Let
keep
them
that
stay
in
over
our
there.
hands.
Just keep that.
Yeah.
Save me 5 minutes.
Yeah. Well, because they're going to turn now. When they finally get to Walmart, they're going to turn, you know. But in the meantime, they got to stay in that
Yeah.
right lane.
Todd was taking me in for treatment last week. We got right there where you go into New Albany. I don't know what this dumb girl was meant, but she was right-hand lane and she just slammed on her brakes. And this guy was right behind her with from the glass place over in York, you know. He had a load of glass. Well, he knocked her about 150 yards down the side of the road there. Why do you stop in the middle of traffic when it's that heavy out of the way, you know?
Probably owners, probably texting.
miss anybody?
Nope.
All right, 6:59, we'll call Finance Committee meeting to order. Got
Right.
total, go ahead.
I have 3 legislative requests. The first one, as you guys can read, the $4,250 from the general fund to the fire squad that Chief just spoke about. And then I'll skip to the third one that's not on there. It's the one that Chief just talked about, the $15,000. You still have. I have both of those. Yeah, I have both of them. You want to go ahead and vote on now and then discuss the third one?
Any questions? Public Safety Grant 4250 received in the form of check deposited in check, general checking fund 1028. We just need to move it from general fund to fire squad supplies. Committee, any questions, problems? Okay. Second one, you want to do the third one or the second one?
The third one has to do with money, the second one doesn't. The second one, he wanted me to explain a couple things, so.
Yeah, let's go ahead and do the 15.
To the 15,000.
Okay, what amount is that again?
$15,000.
Yep. Requesting $15,000 transfer from the general fund to the fire and building, repair account, 110-212-5361. Present account has insufficient funds to finish the fiscal year, 2015.
Is that one of them counts that normally at the end of the year we do a cleanup ordinance to take care of it anyway, kind of?
Normally, but this is kind of a larger, amount.
Well, I didn't know the 15, I mean, 15, does it make a difference if it's 10 or 12 or 15 or 20 or, I'm just saying,
Oh.
you know.
Well, I think as the chief said, I think he's pulling 15 out because he knows what he's under now and he knows what these, particularly
Other
these two
big
big ones
ones.
are. And padding some cushion in there too. Whatever is not used out of that, obviously will go back into the general fund.
I just didn't know, one of the deals where if I've got 15, I only need 10, but I got 15, I got an extra 5, I might find some things that I need, I buy, if I have to come back again, I may not buy them or anything.
Well,
End of the year buying, it's like, oh, do we need pens? No, let's wait until next year, but yeah, I got the extra money, let's go ahead and spend it on it.
We may end up using some of that $15,000 to fix the back of station too.
Well, that's what I wondered, that's why I was kinda, all right, leave it 15. I had a problem.
Everybody okay? Me?
Did I leave the third one down there with you? You have it in your hand. Yeah, you took it.
I have the third one. I have the first one and the third one.
Yeah,
The first one and the second one. You got the
I
third
need
one
the
and the
second.
fourth one. Because I handed it to you.
Yeah, and I handed you two.
See what happens when you and I aren't
I know.
Yeah, kid chief Huggins over there.
Messes.
Yeah, we're good. There's those two, and I'm sorry for you. First and third. All right, now.
You're going to do the second one.
Yeah, there's something there. It just didn't have anything to do with money.
Just don't couch,
Okay, now the second one here, authorize the mayor to enter into a contract with ODOT for the resurfacing State Route 79 from James Parkway to Kaiser Drive. We're just moving on down 79 that we've already been to. Yeah, what do you have some?
I got two the same.
What, Jay, what year, is this the same, do it at the same time as the rest that we already talked about?
Yeah,
It's just making the bigger project?
Yes, and this would actually won't go in, it would be fiscal year 17. that he would be doing.
Okay, does our match get bigger? I mean, we have the, or is it taken care of, or not doing this, or whatever? You know
It's
what I'm
the
saying?
yeah, it's the same.
We're okay. Let me. Can I read it for a second? Because for some reason Eddie didn't. I don't think Eddie discussed this.
Is this and this the same thing?
Yeah.
When did this come in, Jay? To you?
I think Friday, and then he sent me an email this morning that he had checked with ODOT. So it would be the fiscal year. That's what it's next.
Are they gonna fix that place right in front of that cornice where they come out of that, when they were pushing the pipe across underneath there to heat the pavement up a little bit?
I don't know.
If they resurface,
He
they
said
probably
mainly
mill
all
out
this
3 and
was
put back
was
3,
going
so
ahead. He
it
got a
should take
call.
care of some of it.
Okay.
And it was just.
So what this is
next
saying
level down.
is that we are giving ODOT consent to complete the resurfacing and related work to State Route 79 within the city of Heath from James Parkway to just south of Kaiser Drive. We agree to pay 100% of the cost of those features requested by us, which are determined by the State and Federal Highway Administration to be necessary for the project. So if we wanted something added to the scope beyond what their scope is, that would be all on us.
How much do we pay for the regular part, the milling and?
I'm looking.
I do believe.
And then we have to, because usually you have to cut them a check ahead of time for that part. And if our part, you know, if it's 20% or 20%,
You know what,
whatever.
Tim, this does not say that it's 80-20 or anything.
Doesn't break it down at all.
It just says that whatever we would want over and above what they have.
Yeah, this
we
part
break
might,
that.
but I'm saying is there's probably more.
Well, and this
I don't think
is,
they're going to pay it for free.
and this is preliminary. This is
Yeah.
preliminary legislation.
Right.
Just kind of like
Those details may be to come later in subsequent.
And I think in his meeting next week, he'll explain more. He being Eddie, got a little excited about the date.
The timing of when this would
Timing
need
of
to be
when that
passed.
would need to be back in.
He doesn't need this waived, does he?
No.
Well, but it's not even going to hit tonight. I mean, it's
Oh,
going
that's
to be
right.
2 weeks. I mean,
It's not on the agenda tonight. We have nothing on first reading.
right. That's what I'm saying. So it's going to be 2 weeks, and then,
First
and
of
if he
December.
talks about it his next meeting, we'll probably know more and stuff. I'm just curious to know, you know, if we.
Well, there's no money in there. It's just-
No, but you know how that slippery slope is. Once you agree you're going to do it, then next thing comes the money, and then they say, well, you agreed you're going to pay this, and now here's how much your share is going to be.
Well, whatever the what's defined hypothetically as an unnecessary
No,
expense.
100% unnecessary. I'm not worried about that. It's the cost of this project. It doesn't even talk about that cost, and that's usually a 20, 80 or something like that.
Well, federal
Okay.
highway funds, right?
So this was an email from this morning. From Eddie to Jay.
I'm going back to that.
I spoke with ODOT this morning regarding the preliminary legislation you have on your agenda tonight for me, that Jay has on his agenda for it. If anyone asks, the planned date of sale for the project is March 2017. That's when they would award the, project. And a rough estimated city share will be $70,000. This number is based on the current estimate and is subject to change based on the actual estimates when the project is bid out. So, you don't know exactly what your match is until you find out what the actual cost of the project is, and you don't know that until it's actually awarded. Okay.
All right, so 70,000. That's what I was curious about.
And I think, see, where I was getting mixed up in my head is that this is from James Parkway to Kaiser Drive. There's also paving being planned for Andover Oberlin south to like here.
Kaiser Drive.
Yeah.
Kaiser.
Right.
So that's what I said. Is it connecting? Is that all going to be
Or
one
was
big
it just the
long project?
bridge?
You've already.
We already did stuff.
had, because he acted like that was. He said,
That's-
remind him of that, but
Yeah,
I didn't know
that's
if he did it
already-
as a carryover. Like you said.
That's
So what I'm
already
saying
in
is,
the
does
works.
it just stretch that project longer in 2017, or are they going to do one in 2016 and then do another in 2017?
Ah.
So this a little bit after. That's what I'm saying.
We'd
Is
have
it-
to ask Eddie.
Can't tell from this.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying.
Yeah.
But next week's find that out. I mean,
Okay. Okay. So, is there a legislative request then for this? Because this doesn't look like a legislative request. Oh, we got one?
And we'll get a chance to know.
yeah, we'll know before anything. But
Okay.
I'm just curious I knew we were going to do from Andover to out to there. I wasn't sure what that share was. Now you had to get it that much longer.
Why do we got
It's like,
chunks?
yeah, it's like how
The
many?
thing I want to ask Eddie too is, does it go all the way to Kaiser? 'Cause
Yeah.
for some reason, I'm thinking it's the bridge.
Well, if it stops at the bridge, then why aren't we doing from the bridge in between there? Why are we leaving a section?
That would
like
be
that?
if what I'm
Right.
thinking is
Yeah.
correct. That's my question as well.
That's.
We'll talk to Eddie.
I remember the
Why
bridge,
do
too.
it in two sections?
Yeah,
It's
so we're gonna have all the stops
It's
and
all
start
in the
just
city.
get her done and be done with it.
From Andover to James.
Unless the money's too much, and then our share would be too much. I don't know what it is. So
Talk to Eddie.
we'll talk to you.
Creates more questions than answers.
Yeah.
For sure.
But we can get the legislative request moving.
Yeah.
All right,
Committee.
Then we can talk to Eddie
Anybody
next
else on the
week.
committee? Any
And
last
then David,
issues
you
than I
can
am?
draft the ordinance if the committee is so inclined, and then we'll.
Okay, so
Go from there.
what's the final one?
We've set them all.
Yeah,
It was
that
actually only three.
Yeah.
Yep. Duplicate of this one. Okay. Other items tabled, what do we got here? Nothing on table.
Probably, there's nothing. That one's always on there.
One perpetual.
I haven't
Remember,
taken it off yet.
Keith put that on there when we had the
It was the
ordinance for the salaries and stuff.
It's yeah. I guess I just leave
Might
that
wanna
one on
just
there.
Oh,
I like what makes you question.
That's just where that pulls around.
Keep you on your
It's
toes.
just that stick on.
Just a reminder, the last thing, we are having the Saturday, we're having the city auction down at Jay's at 10 a.m. Other than that,
Nothing else?
I think we had a
Committee?
requisition helmets for our council people. Helmets.
Those things are a pretty penny.
Hey,
they run $400 or
you can
$500.
ask for a helmet, I want a body vest.
You're gonna put your head down.
Those are not comfortable, trust me. Not as bad as the old plaque vest, but they're not comfortable.
We are adjourned at 7:12.
Ready for
Was it Mike Dukakis that was riding in that tank that
You're
one
up, buddy.
time? And, is that who that was?
Dukakis, yeah.
Is that who it was? Okay, yeah.
That's the first time that's to the ground.
Cost him a voice.
Yeah. Yeah.
Vote for me or else.
Look up doofus in the dictionary, and there's the picture.
Yeah.
Too bad you didn't have that helmet when they had the Sherman tank here. You could
Yeah.
sit up there with that
Oh,
on.
yeah.
All right, are you ready to do caucus real quick? Invocation, Mr. Henry.
Dukakis.
Roll call, we have Mr. Morrow and Mr. Johnson needs to be excused. And Brian called me today, and I called him back. He is moving his production line from the one building to the new building. He's got the new equipment in the new building. He tore his old line down to make the new line run. It was supposed to be done Sunday. As of today, it still wasn't done. And he said he was 8.5 trucks behind, deliveries and stuff. And he said if he don't get it running, he's going to be out of business. So that's why he's in here again tonight. But he apologizes for not being here for his committee, plus also council. But he said if he doesn't get it up and running, and I go, well, you'll probably be here next meeting. He says if I'm still not here next meeting because of that, then I'm probably out of business. So he's really trying to get it done because he has to get production up and running. Because right now since he tore the one line down, this line's in up. He's can't produce nothing. So.
Yeah.
I'll make
Okay. Then we approve it. Then petition of communications. So that'll be Mr. Crable. I think will you do that?
Oh, yeah, it's,
Delinquent accounts.
yep,
Just forward them to the auditor and then also receive and file them.
yep.
Okay, and then under committee reports, public services, Mr. Crable, will you do that, or do you want me to just say Mauro will do it when he gets back, or
What's that?
the public services?
No, I'll do it.
You do it? Okay.
Yeah, I'll do it.
And then public safety, Mr. Heffley, you do that tonight? Okay. And then ordinances on second reading. The first one's the fire. So since that's fire, that'd be, I guess, public safety. So Mr. Heffley, you do that. And then the next one is income tax. So I guess Jeff, that'll be you.
Yep.
Do that. And that's pretty much it. Anybody have anything else? I guess we're adjourned until about 15 minutes. So and Sergeant Ream, you're going to be here tonight at the meeting?
Yes, sir.
Okay. I'll write you down to call. Make sure I call you.